Hello friends, welcome to How to VLAN channel. This is DB VLAN stream. Today in this video we are going to see how to recreate a standby control file in Oracle. Let's get started. Um, what are the situations on which control file recreation is demanded? When there is a change in the backup retention that you want to modify in the standby database. For instance, you are performing the backups from the standby database. Then in that case, you want to change the retention of the backup. I don't think you can make the change directly on the standby control file. You have to change it in the primary and then ship it to the standby and recreate the standby control file. This is a SUF 11G release 2. I know this, but I don't know. I tried changing this recently in 19C as well. I think I couldn't. I think, but you can validate that. And if there are any errors in the control file in standby, then you will need to recreate it. And if Oracle support suggests you for some reason that you need to recreate the control file in standby, yes, you have to do it. So these are the maybe the various reasons under which you will probably recreate the standby control file. And as usual, before we start the operation, we actually go through the steps that we will perform. Um, Here, the platform that where we are going to conduct the test is we are going to have the same common server where the primary and standby are hosted. Primary DB name is GGSRC040, standby DB nickname is GGSRC040 SB1. References, I have gone through a couple of Google documents. On top of it, I have gone through the MOS notes. Probably I'll give the reference numbers soon when I publish the blog. So perform DB health check in primary and standby the first step. Plus collect the DB layout because our if you are using OMF or if you are using non-OMF format, the files layout on the primary and standby may differ. But as a precaution, we will take down the layout of the file system also, how the database files are laid out. So this is how we perform the health check. We also validate, we perform the health checks and then we check the redo log locations. And then we will check if there are any DB file name cannot, log file name cannot parameters are mentioned, control file path, P file. And then we perform a backup of the P file and we take a control file trace and we check the database alert log to be sure that there are no errors outstanding. And then we also take a report schema output to preserve the structure or skeleton of the DB. This is done. Second step is we need to verify if the data guard or if the data guard is healthy or active. Sorry, not active. Standby databases, managed standby databases, fine, functioning fine. So just need to verify if there is any lag. If database recovery process is not running, MRP is not running, we need to initiate it and verify again. Also, we need to check to be sure that there are no archive gap. Stop the recovery after we validated it. This is we are really going into the action. So we will stop the recovery. We'll back up the control file for the we back up the control file from primary for standby in the format we mentioned. Once the backup is complete, we copy the backup control file to the standby server. In our case, it's the same server. And then we will shut down the standby DB. We preserve the control file redo standby redo log on disk to another location. So we create a separate location for preserving the redo and standby. Redo and standby redo and the control file on the standby database, such that we, if at all something goes wrong, we can revert back the settings because this all this control file redo and standby redo will get changed during this operation. So we preserve them and then we start up now mount the standby instance. If you're having a real application cluster, ensure you set the cluster database to false here. Okay, before we try restoring the control file, restore the standby control file from the backup we secured, and then we mount the database. And if you're using OMF, you can simply do the catalog start with and the data file, validate the count of the data file versus data file copy. If the counts are matching, means we got the same number of data files in the primary and in the standby. You don't need to do anything. We just commit the changes that we switching the database to the copy. And then if we had a flashback enabled before, we enable the flashback again. And here is one step that I really want. The purpose of behind I am doing this exercise is really wanted to see what will happen with my redo and standby redo when I recreate the control file. I really wanted to see what happens because I'm not using any convert parameter. I'm using OMF. So what will OMF do if I clear this redo and standby redo? Will they get recreated in a proper file system layout because I'm using OMF, or should I really use convert parameters to get this clear command working? We'll see. Shut down and start the standby DB in mount state. Shut it down and start it up again. Validate the health of the DB. And here we will use two types of recovery. One without using the standby redo, and the other one with using the standby redo to see if both works fine. So I hope the introduction is okay, and we have walked through the plan. Now we'll go into the execution mode. All right, we go into the step one. So I got two colored screen, one with the black background and white color font, and the other screen with the black background and yellow color font. What do they mean? The one in white color is the primary, the one in the yellow color is the standby. I got the tail of the alert log for both primary and standby also open. So we continue with our health check exercise now. Go into this DB directory. All right. So fine. So the database in read mode. Database role is primary. DB name GGSR040. Switch host status is already 2 standby. Here only important thing that you need to notice is protection mode. If it is in maximum protection, there is a catch or control on the standby or redo log recreation. You need to be very cautious. Okay. Maximum performance, it's okay. See here the flashback is not turned on in the primary, so I don't think it will be there in the standby as well. Force logging is on and arclog mode. Alright, so all that we verified. Let's run the next command. Right, database instance is in open state under submission gg src ending. All the rules are online our system. All register components are valid. The dictionary indexes are valid or not applicable. And file management is set to auto, not manual. We are not going to change the file management anyway because nothing is changing here in the primary. All the changes are going to happen only in the standby. Right, so we'll verify. This is the redo log location. 3 redo and 4 standby redo. Right, and oh god, okay, they are not using OMF here. You can see here we are using non-OMF format. Fine, anyway. I think then the procedure will change a bit. I think I definitely need to use convert parameter in this case. We'll see when that situation comes. 57, 58, 59. Okay, and standby redo, fine, unassigned, because it will come to use only when it becomes standby. So as the name supplies, it's standby redo. We don't have any convert parameters here, but on the standby side, I think we will have convert parameters for the DB and log, if I'm not wrong, but we will see it soon. This is a control file location. Control file also is not using OMF. OMF will make us life easy, but you need to be very sure what the operation that you will do is honored by OMF. So that's the whole purpose behind I'm doing this exercise, but I don't have OMF here. So let's see, for my actual work, I need the OMF format for my testing, but I don't have it, but I still wanted to continue the exercise In case I need, I will recreate the scenario with the OMF also. I have no problem. So we'll create this path because we need the next step needs this. Right, let's create the P file here. We're not going to change the P file or any parameter. I just wanted to be sure. Just want to secure the backup in either case. Jesus. Even if you get this on the same path, because we have same server, but we will append the DB unique name in each of the operation we do. Right, this is over. Event report schema. Alright, report schema gives us all this are non-OMF. None of these are OMF, but we have two OMF files. But others are not OMF. Okay, but anyway, I think Stanby is using OMF. But we will see that now in a minute. Alert log check. This is the primary. There was one more error in the morning, but I think it is because of the listener being down, but now it's okay. You can see the message TNS no listener. Alright. No other errors which we need to be concerned about. Let this alert be in tail format. Let's go now to the standby and continue our health check. You can see the environment variables are already set. This was the case in the primary as well. Okay. Okay, let's continue with the health check. So you can see here the database is in read-only mode because I let it open. It's kind of an active data guard now. But switchover state is not allowed. Protection mode is maximum performance. Log mode is archive log. Force logging is yes, but flashback is no. So we don't need to enable flashback at the end of the operation because we don't have it active now. Only one instance and is in open state. So we can actually perform the health checks as we did it in the primary. So the data files will be in recovery mode because we didn't activate the MRP yet. So once MRP is activated, we'll see again what is the status of the data file. I did okay, but ideally it shouldn't be. So standby file management auto. Anyway, let me collect this info, then I'll note down what is concerned with the data file. Alright, this is fine. This is again, I think not OMF. I think I used convert parameter here. Let's see. Nothing mentioned. Right, convert. I'm guessing so. Yeah. See here, DB file name convert and log file convert submentioned. I think here The clear command will take care of reinitializing them in the proper path. So this is what Oracle mentioned. So for me, it is OMF. So in my real life scenario, I need to see how they differ. I'll probably append something to the video recording at the end after our scenarios are complete. So right, this is control for path. Show parameter P file. They're different actually. You see, SB1 is appended everywhere. This is the P file path. Okay, P file is created. Control file is. Alright, so control GGS 04 pre-modern trace. Alert logger again. No listener. No listener. That errors were related to the listener. Fine. 26th May is the last time we had an error. Okay, there are no concerning alerts again here as well. So we verified it. Now we need to take the R1 report. Report schema. Yes. See if you look here again, there are few data files in OMF and few are not in OMF format. But it's still okay, I think. We'll be able to close this file. Right? So we'll check the destination parameter in both this and that. Why did it get created without an OMF? If you see db create field just mentioned to Aura data only, so it should have been proper, but it didn't. Online log dest one also is Aura data. All the destinations are called out, but they didn't work. Fine. Anyway, it's okay. Let's go on to the next step. So we need to help check the standby synchronizations. So let's get going. As usual, we set the formats. And we know already the database is in read-only mode. And we know the instance status. Open. This is DG config. We don't have a data guard broker anyway. So I'm not testing data guard broker, but it's easy to manage your recovery with standby data guard broker. Dest 1 points to this local destination, dest 2 points to the primary. This is fine. You can see here. Right. We are in standby now, so there is no MRP running right now. We need to initiate it. And we don't have any restore point. I don't think we need to run this because the sequence number it shows 0. That quite puzzling me. But this one was active, you see here. Standby redo. Let's see sequence number 59. That's the current redo we saw here, I guess. 59, yeah. Now let's go. Let's initiate the recovery and check the alert log. if there are any errors popping up. It's doing something. Let's give it a minute. I think this is coming because of Golden Gate implementation here. Let it finish anyway. Yeah, it's still doing it. Okay, but it finished. Here, no errors were reported. Let's see how the MRP is. See, if I had just count by database altered command, I would never have seen these messages and I would never realized I had Golden Gate implementation that results in this global flash messages. So I have kept on watching the alert log. That's why I'm learning this. MRP process applying 59 has come up now. Let's check the log history to see how much is synced. And this is as of now. Okay, this is as of 58 is very old right now, but we need to see if there are any lag. We are anyway in 59, so there won't be any sync difference. Everything is okay. And the RK gap, there is none. So let's go ahead and stop the recovery because it's already in the proper recovered mode. Right, recovery stopped, completed, recover minus standby device cancelled. Now we are already into the action. We need to perform backup of the control file in the primary for the standby. So let's go to the primary to show you again. Right, it's the primary. And I am performing a backup of this now. Let's see, let's wait for it to finish. It finished backing up. Alright, we preserve this log. I wanted this output whisper when I initiated the recovery. Alright. I'll just take them because if I wanted to post it back to you guys for your reference, it will be useful. So I'll remove everything else. I'll keep whatever I need only. Alright. So restore or paste it later. This is the health check command output. Alright. And the primary as well we will collect. Just to be sure that we don't miss anything at the end of the operation. Right. I forgot to collect them. Sorry about this, guys. Primary output. Alright, let's go. We recovered. We stopped the recovery. We just finished it. So that's here. You can see. And now we finished the backup. Now we need to copy the control file here. Same server. So now need to copy. Shut down the standby DB. Anyway, we stopped the recovery. Let's just check if the recovery or any other operation is ongoing. Once MRP is not running. I'll just paste the output also of this. Alright, so let's shut down the standby.db. Yellow color is in progress, so we'll see. It's going good until now. This is closed, dismounted, and one time I was in an interview with the DBA. I'm the interviewer and there was one person in opposite to me. Maybe I'm cracking one of my key questions that I asked in the DBA. So in a DBA interview, everyone knows how the database starts. I asked him how does it shut down? What are the various phases? And the candidate was stumbled upon. So maybe you guys can closely watch from now on. You have the answer here, database closed, dismounted and Oracle instance shut down. But you may face such a questions like maybe you think it is silly, but you may face such questions. So please be prepared for it. So here is the next step. I just wanted to pause here because we need to preserve the control file redo and standby redo on the disk to another location. Okay, please do it very carefully. This location already exists, so I am just gonna make it as SBY info so that I don't lose any of my information. Alright, so let's do it. I'll exit from here and I go here. Now I need to copy all my files. Let us start with we preserve the information, isn't it? So all the redo start and SPV redo start. Okay. Similarly, all the standby redo. So totally, how many files were there? We anticipate 7 files. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All these 7 files needs to be there. We'll check one of the file sizes to be sure we are good. See, we didn't notice what the data file status was before, but it's okay. We're not going to do anything different. We will just preserve this control file also. So just note down the control file path alone. So it's easy for me to copy. So we have a multiplex control file. Let's do it now. So all the files are preserved. So I told you that we need to verify one of the file or we can verify all the file sizes. If you notice here, all of these are 200 MB and here also they're 200 MB and straight and buried also 4 files. This is also 4 file, 200 MB. Alright, so we preserve the files. We need to remove them. So I'll remove them now. Same command. We'll just remove. And we remove the other file also. Standby redo. And control file as well. Because we preserved all that what we needed. There was one more one more control file, right? We need to remove that as well. We remove this. Just a minute. Alright. Let's see. Fine. We removed everything. Now if you rerun the same commands as it was, you don't find anything here. You don't find anything here, and you should not find the control fields also. They are not found. So I'll just make a note. So this is done. We'll pause here for a minute and then we'll continue after. All right. Okay. So I forgot to unmute myself, so the audio got missed. So instead, I'll just walk you through step 8 to 11. I already finished. Okay. The step number 8 was to start up the. See, we finished until the file removal that you remember last step. So now step 8 onwards, we need to no mount the database and then we need to verify if we got the proper P file picked up. If you see here, I just did the no mount. You see here the database is started and we got a SP file here which is located in DBS SP file GGS RC040 SB1.ora, and we know this is the same SP file we have here. See DBS SP file GGS RC040 SB1.ora. So it started with the proper P file, and then we need next step is I secure the log. Next step is to restore the standby control file. So we need to first verify if this piece that we secured in the backup. So if you go back, we may see this piece information here. This is the piece. So this piece needs to exist in the target. In my case, the server is the same. But in your case, maybe the source and target servers may be different. So you needed to copy the file. So we just verify whether the piece exists or not, first of all. So sorry. So I did a ls command to verify if the piece exists or not. So we can see here I verified whether the piece exists. Yes, it existed. And then I ran through the restore actual. And you can see here restore standby control file. And the control files got restored in the destination where they are expected to. And this is the path. If you recollect, we removed it sometime back. So if you go back, you see here ORA data GGSRC040SB1, 040SB1, control 01, control 02 .ctl. It's the same path. They got restored. Once that is done, what we needed to do, we need to mount the DB. So the database is order database mount. So the instance is in started state. Now we run order database mount and the instance is mounted. So database is now mounted and the role of the database is physical standby because we restored a standby control file. We didn't restore primary. So we mentioned also restore standby control file. This keyword is very important. Okay. So we got it now. Next, the next step is the 11th step. So we need to catalog all the data files. So we run with the catalog, start with, and we run the same command because our data files are located in a common location called ORA data. I'll show you the path. There were 9 data files, isn't it? ORA data GGSRC040 SB1 is a common path for all the data files. So we catalog that path. We run the catalog start with ORA data GGSRC040 SB1 in the R1. And you see here the files are cataloging. Once it's done, but you can see here this is implicit catalog. It doesn't ask you for storing them. So implicit cross check and catalog, they are already done, but the explicit ones, but this is actually will also create a problem, guys. This archives, even if it is a foreign database archives, right, it will catalog and cross check and catalog. So you need to be very careful. Say for instance, if you're doing a reset logs, right, previous reset logs, before reset logs, archive log also gets cataloged, and that will cause issues when you try opening the database. Okay, it will say you need to put the database back in time, or some incarnation errors will come. So you need to be very careful. And you notice here only a subset of the data files are cataloged, 2 control files and 3 data files, but we need a 9. Reason is because these are the only data files which are in OMF format, others are not OMF, so non-OMF format. Non-OMF means it doesn't have they are explicitly called with the .dbf files, right, with the 0101 something like that, so they are not OMF. So now we need to move on to the next step. What is the next step? We needed to verify the files availability and then switch the data files to commit. Okay, so we need to connect to the DB. All right, let's go into the DB. run select count of one from video data file, and let's set the file format, guys, so we know what are we after. See, if I just run this file hash command name from video, it will order by file hash. This will print what is there. Good, isn't it? I'm surprised. Reason is show parameter convert, I guess. See, it already. So these are not. Interesting. This is not considered to be a foreign file for this database because, or this is really existing. It is not. Okay, because we applied a conversion here. I think it changed the file names already. The log file convert we mentioned, because really this is not the path which is there in the source DB. Okay, let me just go. If you notice here, when we ran the report, see here, there were 7 data files, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But you notice here it was in the path 0 GGSRC04T. At the same time, notice here it became GGSRC04T SB1. This is the impact of restore standby control file, I think. So none of this path is accurate. None of this path is accurate. So for 789 there is a copy already available. For until 6 we need to rename them to a proper file. I guess these files are already proper. The only file that did not exist is this file because it got recreated with the OMF name in the end. So you don't need to worry about other files because the DB file name convert took care of this. You don't need to rename the files also. You see, all the files are existing and only the files below are not. Yeah, let's do this. Let's run a comparison between the report command we got. Yes, let's put it in a notepad plus plus. Right, just give me a minute. This is standby and this is primary. Let's compare it, okay? Now if I do a diff, you can notice all the files reported as not matching, but the only difference between this standby and primary is this GGSRC040 SB1, here GGSRC040. The last piece of the file name until line number 7. Right? All these are matching the names, the target names. It automatically remapped the files. The only files which needs changing is ggdata02. Okay, this needs to go as OMF. So these 3 only we need to switch. So what we need to say, 7, 8, 9, switch database to copy, switch data file to copy. That's all we need to do. Alright, so this is fine. Now let's go by our steps again. So what we needed to do is we need to perform count of 1, right? Let's go quick. Yes. Right. So select status comma count of 1 from v data file underscore header group by status. Let's see what is it reporting. All the levels reports as online, but header error. See, 3 files it says not found. Rest of the 6 files it says fine. So all we need to do is switch database to copy. No, switch database to copy. Switch data file Alright, we didn't perform the main operation yet. We needed to perform this, isn't it? Underscore copy. Select name comma file hash comma name with a data file copy where state is equal to a order by 1. You can see two control files are reported as 0 file and then this 789. Okay, let's now perform the switch like I said. File 7 to copy, not to be copy. Okay, it does. That's data file 7. Okay, let's try 8 because it's a non-OMF format in source. I think. Alright, let's try 9 as well. To copy. Alright, just give me a minute. We will check it. Why? 7, 8, 9, all this. Okay, now I think we need to perform a rename of the data files. So we will rename them. Right, so okay, let me just frame a command for this rename. So this is a problem with non-OMF and OMF together. So now I have a confidence that $log and standby log will work fine because it already will have the mapping done. That's why in a non-OMF the log file name convert works properly fine. But without that I think it will not work. So in case if you have OMF, we will see how this will work. We probably need to perform manual data file rename. So select a.file hash, a.name from a.data file a data file underscore copy b, where b dot status equals a, and header c dot error equals file not found. Right, and a dot file hash equal b dot file hash and a dot file hash. What is a dot file hash? So we are asking for all the files which are not found from data file header. There are 3 files, and then we're looking for all the files which are available under data file copy. That restricts much more. And a dot file hash equal to b dot file hash. So we say b dot name and statement alter database, rename file, I think we can do it with the file hash as well. File hash, a dot file hash, a dot hash 2. Right. B dot name, statement. Right. Let's go down. Right. This is the statement. Let's see how it turned out. Alter database, rename file 7 to find data file copy location. All these are OMF, so I'm pretty confident that this is fine. Just do it in the Notepad++ to be sure that we have everything proper. File 7, 8, 9. Okay, this is good. So let's do that. Right, so it not accept. Okay, so I thought it would accept. So let me just change this command. It doesn't go by the file hash. Rename file. The name. Alright, let's do this again. Let's do this. Copy paste this output. QR Q5 Q0. QR Q5 Q0. Alright, it doesn't allow when the standby file management is automatic. Fine, Oracle did not say about anything about this. So parameter standby. Set standby file management manual. Alright, we need to revert this setting back. Alright, next. And the next. So we need to be cautious about this, that we needed to perform this operation on top of the actual requirement. We changed manual and it's not part of Oracle MOS node. Alright, let's go. So this is not needed. Switch database to copy. Skipping because there is a mixed DF layout. So we skip it, and flashback is not needed because DB never had a flashback. DB never had a flashback, so skipping it. So skip, but you can do it. It's very quick. See, I'll show you. You just do it. You do it. Alright, we need to activate it and then let the recovery complete. Then you need to disable. Okay, fine. Fine. Right, let's do it. Order Davis clear log file group. So now is the time to validate the redo logs and online redo logs. So let's go back to the commands we had in the beginning. We will take all this information again. Before we do this, so it already mapped the redo logs location properly. This redo logs doesn't exist moreover, so it's fine, and their locations are proper. It brought the information as it is 57, 58, 59 from the primary database, and redo log we have 4, and it also brought the same information from there. So we need to just clear the redo logs. I think we are all good then. But those file doesn't really exist, so I don't think we didn't need to do the clearance also. Alright, let me just validate that part alone. Alright, let's try clearing one file. It's not needed though, I just verified it. Let's clear one file. Log file 1 is inactive. Let's see what's the error we get. Oh, it's clearing, fine. But it says group 2, group 3 none exists. Yes, no. It kept printing 110. Alright, fine, let's move. Let's clear all these logs one by one. 1, 2, 3. Will it allow for second, which is current? It allowed, and I think it might be initializing 3. After we do this, let's see if the files exists. Okay, because I know definitely we removed them. 1, 2, and 3. Yes, but if you see the same standby redos, they will not exist. Oh, they are also there. As soon as the restore was completed, they are initialized. Is it? Let me just go check. 4, 5, 6, 7. When did we do the restoration? 10:43. Yes, around the same time, 10:40. Yep, is initialized around the same time. 4, 5, 6, 7. I removed them, I remember. This one's latest. But anyway, then we'll clear all this log files too, because it already exists. 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, all these files are initialized to the latest timestamp. They are reinitialized, alright? And we'll shut it down now and start it. In the meantime, File name conversion mentioned in OMF. I wanted to see how it will be very interesting to see how this file name works. I'll keep you guys posted. Definitely, I'll let you know as an addendum to this video. Letter from Vidala log file order by one, order by sequence. Okay. Alright, rated mount. Alright. The DB bounce is finished. The DB bounce finished. Let's perform the health check as requested, and then we will put the DB back into recovery mode. Alright. Let's check the alert log once. So here's what initiated shutdown. There's a warning here. Not set to the value of auto. Okay, let's set this value to auto now. Before we activate the recovery. Alright. Is auto now. I wanted to see if there are any other errors. Lucky that the Oracle by themselves reminded me this. I forgot it completely. Just even before few minutes. I did this though. Alright, any other error before this? It was 11:40 now only. Yeah, and anything else? Yes, so nothing during the crash. Sorry, stop start. We'll move on. Thank you. So we need to perform the health check. We have the health check commands on the top. Let's go do it quick. Come on, quick. So it's GGSS 040 physical standby. GGSS DB unique name. Recovery needed status, HO status. Maximum performance, archive log, force logging is a flashback no. Database is in mounted state. And the host name is mounted. All the database are online our system. Now that we cannot check it because it's not in open state. This also will not work. Anyway, I got the parameter already in control, it seems. Nice to know this. Alright, now let's verify this. How do they look now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 files. Everything is in SB1. And log. So the sequence number initialized to 0. That's what clear command does, I guess. So it still shows our current. Fine. And standby log. It should also show sequence number 0. Yes, this one doesn't change. 61 it's still kept. Nice to know. But I still did clear 4, 5, 4 also. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And then the files timestamp got updated. See, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, give me a minute. Fine. So I'm not sure why it still shows up, but others were showing sequence of 0, though the current one had. Right, now let's do this. So parameter convert. We know what the value will be. Is proper. Control, we know this as well, nothing changed. And p file, nothing changed. Just secure one more p file copy, and we do a diff to be sure that we didn't left any parameters changed. ggshc04 tsb1 underscore post dot order. Yes. No. There is no difference, so this looks good. I just pay secure one. See if that also made any difference. So C04 SB1 post.trc. Alright, this is done. And report schema. We can very well now compare this path against what was existing before. New SPY and push this over here. Right. Right. So it doesn't know whether they are rollback segments or not, but file paths are all perfectly matching. Right. So you can see here is SPY and USPY. Okay. Alright, this is okay. So temp file, what was the path before? Is SB1 temp 0 under dbf. Okay, same path. Okay, now let's move on. Database recover manage standby database disconnect. Okay, let's see if this command works. We wanted to see if MRP is running. Let's see. Data card health check. Okay, MRP is not running. Let's kick off the recovery. Alright, I think there is a command syntax issue. Recover automatic manage standby database. I don't know. What is the difference? I'm missing some keyword. Automatic standby database disconnect. I think there is some extra keyword or something anyway. Just check because my eyes blow. Let's see if what is the difference between these two. Yeah, there is a difference, huh? Disconnect. Okay, 3 and I put, huh? Okay, fine. Alright, let's update this. Alright, let's see if MRP is running and Where is MRP? Right. Why is it not starting? Come on. Okay, why are you not starting? MRP process shutdown. Oh, okay, it said shutdown. Orphan data files. Why would it say that? Data file 1 belongs to an orphan incarnation. It's not true. Okay, but we saw this. Right. Okay, I think this database itself, this standby is not valid. Okay. I can verify that. File hash equals 1. See, August 2024 is a checkpoint time. It's good only. Why would it say like this? 19909. Okay, let me just check if I can resolve this in 5 minutes. All right. So I was able to fix the issue. Um, I was triaging the incident for some time and I found what the root cause was, and I learned what the fix as well, and I implemented the fix as well. I didn't collect plenty of artifacts or evidences, but with minimal evidences, whatever I have, all the root cause was very clear, and the fix implementation worked fine. The only thing that we need to be aware of is that we just tried activating the MRP died. This is the reason. This MRP died because there was incarnation error. Data file 1 belongs to an orphan incarnation. I was looking at MOS, and the MOS note ID 1509932.1 was the help. It gave me several symptoms, scenarios under which this situation can happen. One of the scenario was, rightly as pointed out by the note, that I actually activated the standby database to be a snapshot standby last year. So that means my standby had a new incarnation and I took some backups. So there were some files left. When I recreated my standby control file, those files were cataloged. So I told you, if you remember, in the beginning of my call, I told you about that implicit cross checks and catalog can cause you problem. This is exactly happened again. So it said that the incarnation is not matching, and I verified my database creation time, my checkpoint timestamps for the data file, everything was fine. So why will it go to an incorrect incarnation after we do the standby file recreation? And there were some note IDs saying that I'm using old standby file. It's absolutely not possible because I deleted them. We verified even with the ls command that they did not exist. And the files that I preserved were never touched by the catalog command. They didn't know where it exists at all. So because I put them in a new location. So how come this incarnation error was coming? I was wondering. Finally, this note clearly said that the snapshot standby probably files created out of the snapshot is causing you the issue because it's pointing to the new incarnation and you may have this issue. So what did I do? I deleted all the archives first, which were cataloged through implicit cross-check. And then I tried again and it caused me the same problem. And then I went back and deleted all the files which were really present on the archive destination, FRA destination. I should ideally not delete any of the new files, archive files that were deleted, but I didn't care. I just deleted everything. And then I ran this list incarnation command in the primary, and you can see here there was only one incarnation. But if you look at the standby, there were two incarnation, and you can see that it was pointing to one incorrect incarnation. Current incarnation, it says 4 September 23. This is when I activated the snapshot standby. This standby to be in snapshot standby. But our parent is this, and this should be our ideally our current because I didn't use this incarnation. I went to this incarnation and I came back to this parent incarnation. I didn't take this before. That's the only thing. All right. So what did I do to fix this issue? I did reset incarnation to 1 because this is incarnation. You need to probably, if you have more than one incarnation, then you need to find out what the incarnation key is and you need to pick them up one. So I went to incarnation 1 and then it became the current incarnation. You see, reset incarnation to 1 current, and then I activated. See, the MRP is still not running here. But after I activated this, incarnation went to 1, the RFS process and others started. Even they were not starting before. You see, not many of the processes were not starting. The files were not getting received, so many errors. After I said this, all the process got activated. If you look, when did I do? I did it at 12:27, right? So from 12:27, the archive started flowing fine. See, 11:51, nothing was happening. But 12:18, it immediately started pushing the archives after I think deleted and so on. Alright, 12:27, I reset the incarnation. Okay, fine. And anyway, I didn't go into that. Fine, anyway, for now, let's focus on this. I reset the incarnation to 1, which is at 12:27, and then we can see I tried start activating the MRP got activated successfully this time, and it was applying the archives needed 60, 61 error opening, and then it actually I think got the six because I deleted all the archives I told you, right? So again I think it got the archive 60 reshaped, and then it got it applied, I think. So the 60 is the last sequence that was applied. You can see 60 was reshaped because it was not finding it here because I deleted it. So 60 was applied and RK gap is 0. No, delta is 0. Alright. So this is all done now. All I need to now do is verify if I start the recovery using alright, anyway I will start the recovery using standby log file soon. I will also need to do manual check of my data. That one thing we will do. If you notice here, it's already using standby. Okay, 61. So I don't need to be worried. It's already active. Read logs are unused, but this is active already, and it's using the standby read only, it's shipping the information. So I'm going to cancel this recovery, and I'm going to restart the DB, and I'm going to put it in read only mode, or I'll cancel the recovery. I put the DB in read only mode. I wanted to see really if I can see the data in sync or not, which is one validation we didn't do in the beginning. So I'll activate the standby and then I'll check that. Ideally we don't need to do this, but I'm going to do it now. Okay, so MRP should have been stopped now. We just verify this. MRP is not running. It's open. Alright. It is open. read only and physical standby still. And we will activate the recovery again. I will try to activate it using current log file. So this means it will use the redo log, standby redo log. It's completed. MRP should be running. I should have access to the data now. MRP is running 61. And I have one table to validate the information. This is the table. Max ID from user AMBR 10,999,10,999. Now I'll change one row update alone. Where ID equals 10,999. Update. So table should be having the same information here as well, right? Set name equals fixed where ID equals 10,999. Update. One row updated, but will this data be visible still? It should not. It is still not visible. I commit it here. I run this query again. It's fixed. So the data is reflecting perfectly fine. No more issues. We got the data in sync. We are good with the task we took. The standby recreation on a standby database. Standby control field recreation on a standby database which has a mixed file layout is successful. Thank you. Thanks for joining with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. This 19909 was a error that we dealt with, and I'm very happy I learned this, and I also learned about file name conversion parameters. I hope you would have learned something from this video. Okay team, so yesterday when I finished this video, I made a remark that I will be adding an addendum such that I will also mention about how a OMF redo and temp will be handled. Temp and redo log created using Oracle managed file system. OMF, uh, OMF convention. So now I have actually completed that exercise as well, but it's not available for upload. But I will do another exercise later and I'll show you how OMF works. But I have the comparison. When you do a standby file creation, how exactly a mix, no OMF and mixer format of implementation of Oracle file layout will work when it comes to standby file creation, standby control file creation. Okay, I have actually called out these different types of DB layout. One is no OMF, the other one is OMF, and the other one is the mixed one. Whatever we saw yesterday in our exercise was mixed layout. Okay, so mixed layout or no OMF you can say, and OMF is what I had some suspect. How does that work? I wanted to really understand, but I understood that as well. Whether it is ASM or normal cooked file system, it's common. When you recreate the standby control file, you need to honor all this. Okay, let's go one by one. When you are using no OMF, the settings that are recommended, if you do not already have, you need to have before you actually go for the standby control file restore itself. Restore, I'm saying. Okay, so even before you try doing the restore in the standby database, after you scrap all the platform and everything, you need to have this two parameter set. One is db file name convert. This will handle the db files. Log file name convert. This will handle the redo logs. So what will happen when you do this? DB files, you will not need any action because the control file, when you do the restore, it will automatically substitute all the data files from the primary database with the standby database name or whatever convention you mention, whatever control conversion you mention, that will be substituted when the standby file control file gets restored itself. So you don't need to do anything. and the $data file will already have the right path in them, and $data file header will not show any error such that no file found or something like that. It will not show that. It will say that the file already exists. I mean, it doesn't say anything, just that it will be a valid file. Okay, you don't need to do anything extra. Okay, log file name. What will happen is uh, you will still see the old, or when you do the control file restore itself, the redo log location. Sorry, yes, that's what is correct. So when you do the standby control file restore, the old redo log location will be replaced by the new redo log location. When I say that new redo log, whatever you mentioned in the log file name convert. For instance, let's say u01 redo, u01 redo, and the primary database name will eventually become u01 redo and the new database name, say for instance. Alright, let me just type so let's say if you want u01 redo, primary is the DB name, eventually it will become u01 redo standby in the destination when the standby control file gets restored. This is how it works. Okay, so this is in case of no OMF. So this is in case of no OMF. Okay, so you don't need to do any action, automatically Oracle will take care of it. And temp files also you don't need any action, because temp file will be replaced with the same way. You see here, right? This replacement will happen. Primary will be replaced by the standby. If in case you mention this as the path in the DB file name converter, it will automatically replace the temp file also. This is how no OMF works. And now when you talk about OMF, OMF, how do you know it is OMF? Because you would have mentioned DB file create test and DB create online log test 1 and 2. Okay, so what will happen with these two settings? This settings needs to be there even before you actually restore the control file. Again the same requirement. So before you restore the standby control file, which is very important, don't forget. Okay, so what do you need to do? DB file name, we need to perform catalog start with file path in case if you are using OMF. So it will, what it will do is it will catalog all the data files. Remember, this will only work for OMF files, not for the no OMF files. No OMF files, it will not work. You need to manually perform alter database, rename data file, otherwise it will not work. We are going to see that also in the mixed one. So, and then you can perform switch database to copy. It will switch all the data files to the copy. Okay, after you catalog it, and that way data files are finished. Data file changes in the control file is completed. Also, you can use auto database rename file also will work. That is up to you. But this is very quick. Log file. You may wonder, when you actually restore the standby control file, it will still have u01 redo primary and then the OMF format redo. Okay, this is what will be the file name. You may wonder this is how it is going to create. This is what confusion I had. But as soon as you perform alter database clear log file, this will reinitialize the redo log using OMF format. OMF format ideally means u01 just type it somewhere else. So you know u01 redo standby OMF underscore redo. So it perfectly worked fine. You don't need to worry about it all. If you have two destinations in the DB create online log test 1 and 2, if you have declared, then it will create multiplex redo logs. Don't worry about anything. It worked perfectly fine. Temp files, Again, it will recreate the temp file when you open the database in read-only mode or read-write mode. It will recreate the data files in the db create file test. See here, in the db create file test, it will automatically create. Don't worry about that. Okay. But this will happen only when you open the database, either in read-only or read-write. Now comes the mixed setting. Part of my data files are no OMF, part of my files are OMF. What will happen? So you need to have both this setting. So I'm not going to talk about read log, no OMF or OMF, but because you already know it can be either OMF or no OMF. Okay, redo. But when it comes to DB files, you can have both of them. So what will happen is no OMF DB files. All right. No OMF data files will be skipped. What it means? Because the data files already would have been renamed using this db file name convert setting init parameter. OMF, it will not work with the switch database to copy. You will be able to catalog, but you will not be able to perform switch database to copy or switch data file to copy. Both will not work. Remember, it will not work. Alright, you need to perform alter database rename file command only. But for to do that, you need to set standby file management to manual. Just remember this, otherwise this command will not work. This alter database rename file command will not work. So that is what I meant here. Switch database to copy, data file to copy will not work. Only alter database for log file, alter database clear log file will simply work in either case. You have it OMF or no OMF, this is the same command. We spoke about this. This is the same command with the redo log. So why I didn't mention anything about the log file parameter or setting. But this will not work. So you need to manually rename the data file, like I said, with the standby file management set to auto. Standby file management set to manual. Sorry, not auto. And temp files, again, you don't need to take any action, be it db file name convert or db create file list. So the only ask is in mixed setting, one of this either db file name convert or db create file list should be set. Alright, similarly log file name convert, in case you have redo logs based on no AMF format, then log file name convert is needed. Otherwise db create online log dest 1 or 2 should be set. Okay, so take care of this. If in mixed format, maybe you need to set all these 4. So all these 4. Alright, so that's what I wanted to share it with you. This is the addendum. I hope you really liked this video. If you really like, give me a thumbs up and share this video with your friends and subscribe to How to Learn channel. We will meet in the next video. Thanks for joining with me right now. We will meet in the next video. Thank you. Bye.